I have so long realized that most people that doesn't tend to do very good in the video editing and video creation space are those people that have no experience on non-motion graphics, which is graphic design, before they went straight ahead to learn the motion graphics, which is the video creation and the video editing. Hello once again, my name is Salahuddin Muhammad and I'm going to be your course instructor throughout this course. Having a background in graphic design does help a lot because I'm in the shoe, so I know what I'm telling you actually. I don't want you to learn it the hard way. I don't want you to suffer so much. And this brings us to fixing this particular problem that had been with us for so long. We are going to learn the basics of graphic design, including learning how to design from scratch and also learn how to design using templates. So we are going to start with the theoretical part of what the graphic design itself is, including what are the principles of graphic design, the rules that guide the graphic design itself. So I want you to stay tuned and let's quickly move on and see what graphic design is. So first and foremost, what is graphic design? Very important. So let me give you a very simple explanation of graphic design. Graphic design is just simply a way of using visual elements to communicate. It's a way of using visual elements to communicate. Every graphic designer uses visual elements to communicate with his or her audience. Okay, so very important. What are visual elements? Okay, so visual elements are just the text, the shape, the lines, the colors you see in a design. Okay, so these things are brought together, are composed together to form what we call the design. Okay, the visual design. Okay, so that's why they are called visual elements. They are like the ingredients of a design. Each and every graphic designer, I said, uses these elements to communicate with people. You need to write something using text. You need some shapes to portray what you're trying to pass out. You need color that will give like luminance, like warmth. You understand? So that your text will be very good. You need images to import to your design so that your design will be very cool. You need like vector PNGs and so on. So these are the elements of graphic design. Each and every graphic designer starts with a blank sheet. You have to start with a blank sheet. That's when you are creating from scratch. Then you keep on importing all these kind of elements in order to form that design. Okay, so this is simply what graphic design is. Okay, so yeah, now the next thing you need to understand is the principles of graphic design. This is very important because when you don't understand the principles, the rules, what will guide you towards making a very good design, then you will end up making quack designs, designs that are not cool, designs that are full of conflicts and so on. So that's why principles are very important in a design. Okay, yeah. So what are these principles of graphic design? The principles of graphic design include the balance. Yeah, balance is a principle. The alignment is a principle. The hierarchy is a principle. The contrast is a principle. The rhythm is a principle. The proximity is also a principle. The color and the space is also a principle. Okay, so these are the principles of graphic design. These are the rules. These are what you need to follow in order to make a very good design. If you don't follow these rules, if you don't include all these things that I mentioned in your design is going to be quirk, okay, it won't look very good and nice. There are lots of principles of graphic design. There are lots, but these eight I just mentioned are the most considerate. In each and every design, you must consider these eight principles before your design will be very good looking. Okay? As I mentioned, the balance, the alignment, the hierarchy, the contrast, the rhythm, the proximity, the color, and the space. Okay, very important. It's very important that you understand, like you have a very good understanding of the principles of graphic design, because this, as I said earlier, will give you a very good clue on how to make a very good design. Okay, so I'm going to walk past you through this and we are done. Okay, yeah. So the first principle of graphic design is the balance. Okay, and balance is one of the key principles of design. It just like refers to a way visual elements are arranged so that their visual weights, you understand, the visual weights have harmony between each other, so that their visual weight harmonizes with each other. Okay, it harmonizes with the other elements in the design, and the composition gives an appearance of properly distributed elements. Okay, so when you're making a design, you have to make sure to maintain the weight of the designs, okay, so that they won't be scattered, you understand. So sometimes when people make designs, you can find the images somewhere, you can find the text somewhere, you can find lines and other places. Okay, so no, in your own case, it's very good that you there's a harmony, you create a harmony between these visual elements, so that they'll be together, so that they won't be scattered. Okay, so that they won't just be scattered. That's as simple as it is. Okay, so that's the balance principle. The next element we are going to discuss about is the alignment. Yeah, alignment. The alignment simply or broadly states that multiple objects should be placed to allow certain elements of the assets to line up in a common position. In a what? In a common position. That's the key point. Yes, to line up in a common position. For example, if you want to line up all your elements from the right, then it should be lined. All your elements should be lined from from the right. Yes. If you want it to be lined in the center, then your elements should be lined in the center. If you want it to be lined in the right, then your elements should be lined in the right. You don't just come and put some elements in the right, put these ones in the center, put, like for example, you put a text in the center, you put another text in the left, you put another text in the right. So there won't be alignment, and this is just like an example. You can see, so this there's alignment, meanwhile in this there's no alignment, because something is fishy here and you can see it. So that's it. That's the principle of alignment. It helps to ensure a sharp, ordered appearance for ultimately like better designs, just like by ensuring your various elements of design have a pleasing connection with each other, so that they won't be scattered. Okay, so that's the alignment principle for you. The next principle in line is the hierarchy. Okay, so as the name implies, hierarchy is a visual design principle that is used in showcasing the importance of content in a page or in a screen, just by manipulating those characteristics. Okay, you can manipulate their characteristics, like size, by size or by color. Let me like explain it in a very better way for you to understand. In the hierarchy, it just simply refers that, okay, there's it simply refers that the most important message should be seen before the less important message. Okay, the most important message should be brightened up, should be contrasted more than the less important message. So that's it. For example, if you want your message to be like your heading should always be good, should always be big. You understand? So when you make your heading to be very big than the subheading, then you manipulated the size of that text. Okay, you understand? You manipulated the size of the text. Meanwhile, you can use color to like make hierarchy. Like, okay, if all the text are black, black, black in a blue background, then you can apply a white color. You can apply a white color to the text that is very, very much important for people to see, so that when people comes, you understand, so the first thing a viewer will see is that text that is white. Why? Because the text is more visible, so there's hierarchy. Okay, so just that hierarchy for you. The next is the contrast. The contrast is also following the hierarchy, just that the difference between the contrast and the hierarchy is on, like brightness. Okay, so the contrast refers to the use of visually different elements in addition to what? To capturing attention. Like, contrast can guide the viewer's eye to a focal point, like to highlight important information and add variety to the design. Just like I said earlier. Okay, so if welcome to, let's say your text is welcome to, so if welcome is much more important to two, okay, sorry for the grammar, yes, to two, then welcome should be colored, like you should give it a bright color. Okay, like let's say it's a yellow color, then the two can be somehow a blue color. Okay, so that's what we call contrast. Okay, so the next is the rhythm. The rhythm is a principle of design that suggests movement or action. Okay, so rhythm is usually achieved through repetition of lines, shapes, colors, and even more. Okay, as you can see this now, okay, so you can see that these are all the same shapes, and there's repetition in the shapes, right? Yes, there's repetition. So now the sizes varies, but there's repetition. So rhythm is about repetition of some certain elements that will guide you to follow some instructions. So you start from the big, 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 big to the smallest shapes in this picture, right? It's because, yes, because when you come, there's repetition, but what you first see is the big, yes, is the bigger shapes before you follow the line until the end. And the ending is what? Is the smaller shapes. Okay, so these are just, you can see this one is for color, and you can see this one too, the shape is the same, but there's different color, but the same, you understand? So this is what we call the rhythm. Okay, so the next is proximity. Proximity refers that placing similar design elements close together produces a more effective visual design. Proximity is all about closeness. Okay? Yes, you should place the similar design element closer to to themselves. Okay? So as you can see it here, these are all the same shapes, but unfortunately they are not placed the same place. They are not placed closely. So it doesn't provide like kind of balance. Okay. As you can see, this one too, it's also the same, but they are placed in different angles, but they are the same. So this simply shows you that design is not balanced. Okay, but just look at this one. You can see that yes, there is what we call proximity. Okay, they are placed in line, they are placed together, they are placed closely. Okay, yeah. So the next is the color. Color is a universal language, as we all know. It just presents the countless possibilities of visual communication, and brands use color to communicate. Brands use color to, not brands, personal people, use colors to communicate in their designs. Okay, so color is very important, and I'm going to share more info on color for you, on how to get the right colors for your designs. Okay, so you should be getting a very good colors for your design. It's very important. It's very important. Color is a principle of graphic design. The next is the space. Space refers to the area that a shape or form occupies. Okay, let's just say that a shape occupies. It also refers to the background against which we see the shape or the form. Okay, space can be defined as negative and what positive. The positive space of a design is the filled space in the design. Meanwhile, the negative is the vice versa. Okay, so now what is a space in the principles of graphic design? All the places you see in your worksheet is a space. Okay, what you see in the design, there are spaces. Okay, so what this thing is trying to tell us is that, okay, there are two types of spaces. There are negative, we have the negative and the positive space. Okay, yeah. So the positive space is the space that the design is filled, like all the elements are filled in. So that's the positive space. The negative space is just the place that, there's no elements there. When there's no elements, okay, so we refer to that place as what? As negative elements. Okay, so this is more of an overview, just more of just me trying to explain it for you so that you understand more. So you should make sure, try as much as possible to, do the right thing. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much for listening, watching, anyone. Okay, so I'll be dropping some materials down here so that you can be able to download and utilize them. Please do utilize them. Learn graphic design is very important, and learning the theoretical aspect is very much important than even learning the practical aspects, because the theories helps you to understand the practicals. Okay, so this is it for today, and I just hope to see you next. Thank you very much.